Living in the shadow of Cristiano Ronaldo is not always the easiest thing. So when CR7 left for Juventus, Gareth Bale must have thought that this finally could be his year. Well, after almost half a year spent on the injury table, things aren't looking so good for him. And with rumours that he's not even a very popular player in the squad, it looks like Bale's days at Real Madrid are numbered. And now with a €120 million price tag on his head, the rumour mill has started to spin about where he could go next. But on the flip side, who are Real Madrid going to replace Gareth Bale with? Do they have the answer within their own squad? Are they going to look to a Premier League star? Or will they go for the biggest transfer deal of all time? That's what I'm here to bring you in the next few minutes as I present 5 potential replacements for Gareth Bale at Real Madrid. Now, over the course of the season, Real Madrid have normally set up in their preferred 4-3-3 formation. In the last few years, they have at times switched to a diamond where they've put in a number 10 behind the likes of Cristiano and Benzema. However, this season with Benzema the sole focus up front, he has gone straight through the middle and they've had a left winger in recent times, Vinicius Jr., and a right winger in Gareth Bale. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that the players don't change over and that someone who's brought in potentially as a left winger doesn't end up playing on the right and vice versa. As for replacing Karim Benzema, I don't think it's quite going to happen, and if they are going to go big on spending on a huge player, it's only probably going to be one. As for Benzema, if they don't want to play him, they have got Mariano Diaz as a backup, and at left wing I've just mentioned Vinicius Jr. Well, they bought the youngster for 36 million, so to bring someone else in will probably halt his development, and I don't think they're going to do that. So it looks like they will be replacing Gareth Bale in the front line, but who is going to be that man? Well, they need someone quick, they need someone athletic, they need someone with fantastic dribbling and who can find the back of the net. These are all the things that Bale brings, just not on a consistent enough basis. So they need someone who's going to stay injury-free and provide the goods week in, week out. First up, and it's a guy who regularly finds himself stepping in when Bale is injured, and it's Lucas Vazquez. Now, I'm going to be honest, Vazquez just does not have the name which would make him a Real Madrid starter. I know what you're thinking, this all sounds highly artificial, but there is some truth behind it. When you haven't got the name, the marketability, the face to be a Galactico, it makes you an easy cop-out for the board and the manager. And every time a transfer window is open, speculation is circulating that a new, bigger name will be brought in. Put it this way, if Real Madrid have a bad game and they want to be seen to making a change, they'll drop Lucas Vazquez because it's an easier thing to do. Can you imagine if, when they had Cristiano Ronaldo, they went and dropped him? There would be the biggest shitstorm of all time. There would be fans, media, journalists, sponsors, the board, everyone asking how you could drop such a big, crucial player, not only on the field, but off the field too. When Lucas Vazquez gets dropped, no offense, but a few people see it, say, he's probably not playing that well, and it's kind of easy to get rid of him. This doesn't mean that he's not a good player. He's definitely contributed to the last 3 Champions League winning titles and of course the La Liga title back in 2017. However, as I have said, they may want to go for a massive name if they are going to delve into the transfer market. The best thing about Lucas Vazquez is that he is a homegrown player. This automatically gives him a fantastic connection with the fans, and as I said, even though they won't be too surprised if he is dropped, it still means that he'll be willing to work and willing to stay even if his sell-by date goes. This means that if there's a chance to move on to better his career, he'll probably still want to stay at Real Madrid just because that's his club. We've seen this so many times with so many players, Steven Gerrard being the most obvious. He could have gone on to win absolutely anything, but stayed dedicated to Liverpool. Up next, and it's probably the transfer rumour that you have heard most on this channel, so I don't really want to linger on it for too long, but as mentioned before, it's Eden Hazard to Real Madrid. Now, he probably seems like the most viable option on this list because of everything that surrounded the transfer rumours. Let's put it this way, it would be a good deal for all 3 parties involved. First off, for Eden Hazard, he said it's his desire to move to the Bernabeu. He's called them the biggest club in the world and it would be a dream to play for them. If reports to be believed, negotiations between the club and the player have already taken place and a pre-agreement has already been made. So that's Eden Hazard happy with the move. As for Real Madrid, well, they'll be getting in a fantastic player, even though he will cost them a bit of money. Again, with the marketability factor, he'll be massive both on and off the pitch, and it will just be a good deal for them to bring in someone so good and so consistent. And lastly but not least, it will actually, believe it or not, be a good deal for Chelsea. Put it this way, they're going to get around £100 million for a 28-year-old who has served the club fantastically well. In his 6 or 7 years at the club, he's won absolutely everything there is to win, and Chelsea fans can hardly blame him for getting that big move that he always wanted to Real Madrid. Also, Hazard's contract is running running out in the summer of 2020 at Chelsea, meaning if they don't let him go for 100 million this summer, next summer they could potentially lose him for absolutely nothing. As I mentioned, with all three of them, it's a win-win situation. As for Eden Hazard on the pitch, well, as I mentioned, he's a phenomenal player. He's got the speed, the technique, the dribbling ability to beat any player, and he's lightning quick, which helps with the way that Real Madrid play. I could definitely see him setting up Karim Benzema or whoever plays up front for more than a hatful of goals should he join. Now, number 3 is probably the least likely to happen on this list, but it was a rumour I saw a few weeks ago, and it involves Mo Salah moving to the Bernabeu. Now, I think this only really came about because there was a rumour that Mo Salah would be swapping with Paulo Dybala at Juventus. This obviously set the rumour mill spinning that Mo Salah was available, and so a Real Madrid rumour was made. I don't really think it's going to happen, as I've mentioned before, but can you imagine if it did? As we've spoken before about the marketability of a player, having a Galactico, having a big name, there literally wouldn't be a bigger draw to Real Madrid than having Mo Salah. Apart from the fact that every single social media post would be spammed with people asking what Mo Salah is up to, on the pitch, he'd also be a fine piece of business. He's lightning quick, he's an unbelievable finisher should Benzema go through one of his inconsistent spells, like when he scored 5 La Liga goals throughout the whole of last season. And even though he's not the most creative wide player, he would still be a fantastic addition to the squad. Now, I'm not saying that Mo Salah is unhappy at Anfield or wants to leave. He appears to have a fantastic relationship with Jurgen Klopp and definitely has an amazing relationship with all of the fans. And if Liverpool can go on to win the title, well, there'll be a big cause for him staying. However, Liverpool or any other club, to be honest, will be hard-pressed to deny someone like Salah the dream move and the chance to play for Real Madrid. These kind of opportunities only come around once in a player's career, so they'd be pretty harsh for standing in his way. Up in at number 4, and it is another Premier League star who could be moving to the Bernabeu. However, if he asks his manager for advice, he's hardly going to get a glowing review of going to the Bernabeu. That's because Raheem Sterling's current manager is Barcelona legend Pep Guardiola, who probably hates Real Madrid with every single fibre of his body. Not only was he a legendary player and manager for Barcelona, he also took apart Real Madrid many a times in both capacities, so you can hardly say that he'll be shouting from the rooftops about how great a club it would be to move to. Having said this though, should Raheem Sterling want to leave Manchester City? I'm not saying he does, but if he does in the future, again, Real Madrid is such a big draw for any player that it'd probably be a sensible move to make. He's got all the makings of a fantastic Real Madrid player. He's super quick, he's got brilliant dribbling, he's the attacking force, which, to be honest, has been made from Pep Guardiola. Can you imagine how mad he'd be that a player he has taken, a rough diamond almost at Liverpool, taken him to Manchester City, made him into an amazing player, and then goes and leaves for Guardiola's arch nemesis? I don't think he'd be too happy. The proof is in the pudding. What Guardiola has done with Sterling is make him into one of the most menacing wingers in world football. Throughout the last season and a half, Raheem Sterling has scored as many goals as he did in the previous 5.5 seasons with Liverpool and Manchester City in the Premier League. That's just a show of his progression, and with Sterling at age 24, whatever amount of money Real Madrid pay for him right now, it's going to be a good deal in the future should they get a fair few years out. Now, lastly but not least, we come to what would be the deal of the century, the transfer fee, which would leave more zeros than you're going to find in your bowl of Cheerios. That would be Kylian Mbappe from PSG to Real Madrid. Now, currently at the moment, Real Madrid have a sort of policy where they're not really entering into big deals with other European powerhouses, purely because the price will be driven up high and they'll probably be paying over the odds. Although, to be honest, I think with Kylian Mbappe, there is no such thing as paying over the odds. He will go on to be one of the best strikers to ever play the game. I know what you're thinking. As I mentioned PSG and Mbappe, what about Neymar's return to La Liga and potentially Real Madrid? I just don't see it happening. Of course, the Brazilian star is injured at the moment, but even before that, rumours were saying that he actually likes to stay at PSG, and if he ever was to leave, it would only be back to his former club, Barcelona. With all his ties to Barcelona, with his friends there, with his former teammates, and the love he clearly has for the club, it would be an unbelievable turnaround for him to then go and join Real Madrid. So when it comes to Mbappe, I don't need to tell you how good he is on the pitch and how much it would make sense for Real Madrid to have him up front. Plus, if they play him on right wing for a few years, when Benzema eventually is on the decline in a few years, retires or gets sold, they could just switch Mbappe into the centre of attack and will score even more goals then. Then they'll probably need a replacement at right wing, which brings me on to a video idea. Replacements for Mbappe at right wing at Real Madrid. But that's for the future. Anyway, as for now, there is probably no amount of money that wouldn't make sense for Real Madrid to go ahead and buy the French wonderkid. I mean, if Kylian Mbappe is going to go on to be one of the world's best, then surely a move to one of the world's biggest clubs is going to be on the cards sooner rather than later, right? So there you have it, the 5 potential replacements for Gareth Bale at right wing at Real Madrid. their starting 11 is sure to change, and so is their formation. However, I think we're signing a fantastic creative player that is going to be injured every week should be top of their priority list come this summer. But what do you guys think? Do you think it'll be one of Vasquez, Salah, Hazard, Mbappe, or even Raheem Sterling? If not, let me know in the comment section down below who you think Real Madrid should go for, and if you think I'm talking absolute rubbish. Again, I didn't make these rumours up, I just see them somewhere in the eternity that is the internet. As for me, I think Eden Hazard is the most likely, but I guess we'll see come summer. Don't forget to smash the like button whilst you're down there in the comment section, and also click here to check out all of the other videos that we've got going on OneFootball. But until next time, I will see you guys later.